Prabodham Tapta Jivanam Kavi Viriritam Kalmashabham Sravana Mangalam Srimadatam Bhuvi Grinanti E Bhurida Janaha. Today we are going to discuss about Pantha. What is the way? Now, Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, he was talking with the devotees and he was telling Mukherjee brothers. We already read about them, conversation is going on for a long time, and he is telling here, you are well off. They were rich people. So Sri Ramakrishna is mentioning, you are well off. If a man slips from the path of yoga, then he is reborn in a prosperous family and starts again his spiritual practices for the realization of God. This statement, we find the same thing in the Bhagavad Gita. Sri Krishna also, when clearing the doubts of the Arjuna, he is mentioning in the 6th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, 41 verse, he said, Krishna said, Prapya Punna Kritam Lokan Ushitva Shashyati Samaha Shuchinam Srimatam Gehe Yoga Brashta Abhijayate. Now here the two words we find, one is Shuchi, that is pure, and Srimatam, prosperous. The pure and prosperous. Now some people are prosperous but not pure. The many of the people, they are accumulating wealth by different wrong means. So they are not considered in this. The children who are born over there in that family, no, we cannot consider them in this. The standard is it should be pure. So the pure people, holy people, but at the same time they are well-off people. Why? Because if a person immediately after birth is going on thinking the how to get some money for the survival, he won't be able to put his mind for the God realization. So this, he said, the Prapya Purnakitam Lokan. Here we find that the Krishna is mentioning about the past life. If you have done something good, nothing is going to be wasted, that's for sure. Nothing is going to be wasted. That's why Sri Krishna in one place he mentioned, Nahi kalyana krit kaschit dukkham tat gacchati durgatim tat gacchati. Kalyana krit, those who are doing something good, righteous, no wrong can harm to them. It is not possible. Now some people are really very good. Some people are always trying to help others. They pray for others. But still they suffer. When that is, then sometimes the people will be asking, why then? These people are so good, so righteous, but why then they are suffering? Again, there is some past karma. That's why all those little bit of things that they did, they are suffering for that. Having attained to the worlds of the righteous and living there for a long time, Prapya Punnakritam Lokan, the righteous people, that means those who are doing something good, praying for the betterment of others, helping others, constantly thinking positively for the others, they will go to that place after the death where they will have that company. That's for sure. No doubt about it. Now, if you ask me to prove, I won't be able to prove in that way, but inference. Through inference, we can understand most of the people whom we find spiritually enlightened, their life is just like that. And nothing can come suddenly. So obviously, we must have done something good in our previous life. So in this birth, most of us, to some extent, well off, and at the same time, culture, our families, parents. So this is proof that we are having those really fortunate things. Now we should strive to attain. We were the yogis. Yogis means we were trying to realize God. We were trying to be united with God. So the yogi, and that time in that last life we could not fulfill. So we have come down once again, but in a better situation. And now again we are trying to reach over there. Again, we could think something else. We could go somewhere else. There's so many people, elderly people, 80 years, 86 years old people, I have seen they are going to different places just for the spending some time, enjoyment. What enjoyment? But still they think that this is the world and the lifespan is closing down. We must, as maximum possible, should enjoy. So this way they were thinking. So what is the way? So this we find, and in the Purna, that in the Swarga, after spending a long time, one falls from the yoga and reincarnate in the homes of the pure and righteous, pure and prosperous. So this is exactly what Sri Ramakrishna mentioned about the Mukherjee brothers. The Mukherjee brothers, they regularly come to Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, though they are very well-off people, rich people. They could go somewhere else. And the time that we are studying, at the time of Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, Calcutta, the capital of the undivided India, and after the Islamic rule and then the British rule that was continuing, and Sri Ramakrishna 1836 and these are all 1884, you can understand that was the situation. And there we find most of the people were corrupted. As because they had no opportunity to express their freedom and they were not allowed to do anything political. So little perverted type of mentalities. So they could not express any way, anything. So sometimes they'll be doing very peculiar things. We are not going to discuss all those, but history and the social, and we can find that in the different type of books, how the minds of those people were. In that situation, some of the people again and again coming to Sri Ramakrishna, listening to him, talking to him, spending time with him, that proves, though they had the money, they could do many other things as other rich people used to do, still these people are coming and sitting at the feet of Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna and dry philosophy, but still they're liking it. That's why Sri Ramakrishna pointed, not to all people. Some rich people also came to Sri Ramakrishna, but he never mentioned about that. They told it's okay. But sometimes we find some people who are coming to him, he was so sensitive. His mind was so pure. Even the person who is reading a newspaper, most of the time the newspaper speaking and publishing wrong things. So he was not ready to accept those papers also. That sensitivity was there. So much so. And this person, Sri Ramakrishna, he is telling the Mukherjee brothers that you are well off. If a man slips from the path of yoga, then he is reborn in a prosperous family and starts again his spiritual practices for the realization of God. When this is, then a devotee, the Mahendra, he is asking, why does one slip from the path of yoga? Why does one slip from the path of yoga? There are many of the times we have seen in our own life, our friends, and they were practicing austerity so hard, but after some time, they go away from the path. There's some of the Swamis, after practicing long, suddenly something happened, they go away. So he's asking this question. Then Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna answering, he said, while thinking of God, the aspirant may feel a craving for material enjoyment. There are two things are there, spiritual world and material world. Material world is temporary. But material world is temporary enjoyment, but mixed with suffering, mixed with sorrow, mixed with miseries. And that is the reason, after understanding this truth, when one withdraws the mind and puts the mind towards God and keep there permanently, it's very difficult. Why? Because Maya, the pull of the Maya is so strong. Somehow or other, it will try to drag you down to that level. Sometimes ego comes. I'm a spiritual man. I don't go anywhere. I don't see movies. I am only taking the name of God. And I should not mix with ego comes. That is also the bondage. That is also very peculiar bondage. And sometimes they think, no, I have to help people. Without me, who is going to help them? They go out so much so they forget to take the name of God or meditation and all those. There's another thing. And the different type of girls, this Maya comes and drags the mind down. Then inside slowly comes the desire to be popular. Then am I popular? Are people talking about me? Are they reading my book? Are they those who writes the book? This is the main problem. They'll be going on inquiring how many copies of the books they have sold or how many number again reprinted, and they'll be boasting, you know my book, this is the 5th print, this is going on like this, like that. So many varieties of their desire for the material world. Material world doesn't mean that I will go to that place or I will eat this or I will purchase a building. Not like that. Subtle, very subtle. The desires are all there. So Sri Ramakrishna is telling, while they were trying to realize God and the craving, it is this craving that makes him slip from the path. This craving makes him slip from the path. In the Bhagavad Gita again, when we find that again the Sri Krishna is telling, Kama Esha, Krodha Esha, Rajo Guna Samudbhava. Only two. And that is also related. Kama Esha, Krodha Esha, Rajo Guna Samudbhava, Moha Ashana, Moha Papma, Vidyana Ihabairina. No, these two are the real enemy of spiritual life. One is desire, another is, when the desire is not fulfilled, anger. When the desire is not fulfilled, then the anger is coming. So, Kama Esha, Krodha Esha. And where from it comes? Rajoguna. This Rajoguna, that is also, where from the Rajoguna? Because when there is a Sattva guna, we won't do like this. Tamaguna, again, he is not interested. Only Rajaguna, this is a mixture. So Rajoguna Samudbhava. Sri Ramakrishna is also telling, when the desire to get the name, fame, and establishment, and all those things in this world, then he slips from the path. And in his next life, he will be born with the spiritual tendencies. Not that everything is lost. In his next life, he will be again, once again he will come. Then the Mahendra, once again he is asking this question. Then what is the way? This is a very, very important question. For those who are striving, so they must be very, very careful. So they must be careful that are we continuing towards the spiritual development? And sometimes some people after practicing a little, going and sitting and then suddenly they will go on seeing different type of things. Strong imagination helps them to see different type of things. Hallucination sometimes, or that self-hypnotized way of seeing. I want to see this and then, oh, this is the thing that I have seen. I am making the progress. Progress, okay, you are satisfied, that's good. But the thing is, you must have to observe your own characteristics, behavior, thinking pattern. Then only you can understand, yes, these are the things which I saw. That is actually the indication that I am proceeding towards the goal. Yes, we see some of the people who are practicing Dvaitism, they see God in different form. And nothing wrong, that's good. Sometimes they see in the dreams also, good. But that is not the final goal. We have to completely transform ourselves. How it is possible? So Mahendra, he is once again asking, then what is the way? Long back. The 5 brothers, Panchama, when they were roaming around, they were thirsty, there was no water. And he wanted to drink. Most of you know the story. Then a demigod, Yaksha, he came and said, hey, this is my pond. You cannot drink in this way. I will allow you to drink the water if you give me the answer of my questions. That man was so thirsty and he never cared for that demigod. And he went to drink the water. The moment he sipped a little, he was fainted. The second brother, third brother, fourth brother, one after another, a great hero like Bhima, Arjuna, they all had fainted. Finally came Yudhishthira. Sthira, Yudha, Sthira. Even the great difficulties and the problem is calm and composed, Sthira. He never loses his mental balance. So he came, and when he saw his brothers are all lying down here and there, unconscious, he understood something happened. Same voice he heard. Same demigod Yaksha appeared before him, and he said, now I have killed your brothers over there. You will also die unless you answer my questions. And then he was going on asking the questions. One question was, Ka Pantha? What is the way? Now, what is the way means, it is not how to reach Delhi or how to reach this and that. Now, what is the way means, how to reach God. Then Yudhishthira gave an excellent answer, very famous answer. Again and again in different way, different people they have quoted. And one Kali Prashanna Singha, he has translated the Mahabharata. Mahabharata is very famous in all over India, almost all the languages, regional languages, they have translated the Mahabharata from the original Sanskrit. And here the Kali Prashanna Singha, in the Bona Parva, he is mentioning Tarko Apratishta. Tarka means the debate, Apratishta. The debate cannot take the decision. It cannot, ultimately the debate cannot take us to the ultimate decision. Always the debate will be there. Pros and cons goes on. At this time, in our first spiritual retreat in Ganges, the first time 3 university students, they came, they represented 2, 5, 3 like that. They came, and the first time, in our country, to get the student of that level is very difficult, and they are all research scholars and they are studying very high and all busy. 2, 3 girls, they told that they will come, but at the moment they could not. So the research guides, they told, no, this is the time you have to submit. So she could not. Another got an opportunity to present her paper in London. So great opportunity. So she flew to London. Anyway, those who came, they had a wonderful debate. We could not give him much time, of course, and they could not come into conclusion. Those who were in favor of the motion, can religion bring peace, progress? They were told, we could not get the sufficient time to prove ourselves. We were having many arguments. And oppositions also told, no, we were also having some arguments. So, tarka, debate, cannot take us to any decision. So, tarka apratishta, srutayo vivinna. Sruta means Shruti, means the Veda. Vivinna, different ways they will be expressing. Almost all they are telling the same truth, but different ways, and they are very, very adamant. No, this is the, whatever I have expressed, this is the path you should follow. If you like to realize God, this is the path. So, Srutayo Vivinna, scriptures are also different. Now, Eka Rishi, Yasya Matam Pramanam. Now, Eka Rishi, there is no one Rishi. Rishi means those who are thinkers, those who can see the future. So, even then, if you talk to them, different Rishis, different Munis, different thinkers, their thinking will be different, opinions will be different, and very confusing. Side by side, two great names of our country, Acharya Shankara and Acharya Ramanuja, almost from the same place. But if you place their ideas side by side, completely different. And pages after pages, thousands of pages have been printed on the debate. Is God without form or with form? Are we belong to God? Are we, in reality, are we all gods or Brahman? Or the part of that Brahman? Debate is going on. Till now, the Shankara and Ramanuja, they have passed away long, long back. But their followers still going on. So that's why it says, na eka rishi, yasya matam pramanam. It's so difficult. This is the only thing you should follow. No, all freedom is there, so you can express your way. Then he is telling our Yudhishthira, dharmasya tattvam nihitam guhayam. Is hidden, very subtle. Guhayam means in the hidden concealed place. Actually, he made very subtle. Dharmasya tattvam is very, very subtle. What is dharma? Some people are slaughtering the cows and eating the meat. And for some people, that is the heinous sin. But the people, those who are slaughtering the cows and eating the meat, the beef, for them it's the food only. They don't feel it is that sin. But some other people cannot think of it. Naturally, dharma, different type of opinions are also there. But is that, if I am doing this or that is only thing? Sometimes the confusions are also there. So dharmasya tattvam nihitam guhayam. It is so very subtle to understand. Then what is the way out of it? Last line he said, Mohayana ena gata sapantha. Sapantha. Kapantha. What is the way? Sapantha. That is the path. That is the way. That by that way only you can go. Mohayana ena gata. The way the great soul, they have lived their life, you follow them. Live like them. So that is how it says. And what is the goal? Goal has been fixed by the Shvetashvatara Upanishad. Those who will know that. Shvetashvatara Upanishad, he mentioned, the Rishi said, Nanya Pantha Vidyate Ayanaya. No other paths are there except the knowledge. Now, anya pantha, no means negative, no. Anya pantha, any other path except vidyate, existing. What is that? Vidyate ayanaya. Vidyate ayanaya. What is that vidyate ayanaya? The vidya, the knowledge. What is that knowledge? Knowledge of Brahman. What is that Brahman? All-pervading consciousness. The all-pervading consciousness, who is the creator, sustainer and dissolver, and that exactly through the power of the inscrutable power of that, he has created this universe which is the same material, same thing, and we are a little bit confused. We have to go back to that. That is the knowledge, and that knowledge is the ultimate. Now, anya pantha, there is no other path. Vidyate ayanaya, except the vidya. So we have to go in that. And Mahayana Gata, how the Mahayana? Now in this reply we find very peculiarly, instead of telling this and that, Sri Ramakrishna started telling what he did when he was practicing spirituality. In the pages 534, 35, if you read, you will find that it is not good to cherish desires and hankerings. For that reason, I used to fulfill whatever desires came to my mind. See, Sri Ramakrishna, why I was explaining the question was, what is the path? How to realize God? In reply, Sri Ramakrishna didn't say, meditate, take the name of God, go to solitude. He is not telling that. Rather, he started telling what he himself did. Mahayana Gata Sapantha. The 5,000 years before, what the Yudhishthira answered, the same thing we find in the behavior, in the teachings of Sri Ramakrishna. So those who are reading the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, if they don't have the background of the Mahabharata, won't be able to understand why suddenly he started telling about his own thing. Oh, I did this when I was a young man, then I did that. But very interesting. We have to follow a great personality, because that is only the way, and there is no other path. Our goal is knowledge. But path is to follow a great soul, and whom we find greater than him. So here he is telling, no salvation is possible for a man as long as he has desire, as long as he hankers for worldly things. This is very clear. If you have the hankering from the worldly things, nothing can achieve. Therefore, so friends, I like to tell you, hankering for the worldly things. Now, all of you are living in the world. You have responsibilities. Now, suddenly after listening this, if you think, why then we are going to the office? Some people, they do. And they create not only problem for themselves. Most of us Indian, we have a great quality. We read, we listen, then we forget. We never follow. So that is a great quality, so there is no problem for it. But sometimes some people are there, they take it so seriously and not understanding his Swadharma, remember it. Anyone who is coming to understand the teachings of Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, leaving other things, I feel 100% that they were the yogis in their past lives. Otherwise these words will be all false. It cannot be. Anything that's any single word that Sri Ramakrishna has uttered, truth, truth and truth. So obviously we have to understand. Ma Saradamani Devi once said, someone said, Mother, we have come over here but not finding the path. And the mother answered, why you think in this way? You are not going to lose the path. You have come here to find the path. Path harabe keno? Why you think that you will lose the path? You will lose the path. No. Path harabe keno? Path pabar jonnei to ekane esecho. You have come over here to find the path. Then she said, Thakur Sri Ramakrishna achen, achen, achen. Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna is there, there, there. 3 times she uttered. And who is this Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna? The embodiment of the whole religion. And what he did, that he is teaching us now. And we find Sri Ramakrishna is telling, therefore fulfill all your desire regarding food, clothing and others. What do you say about then he is talking with the devotees. Sometimes some people, they like to eat, there's no problem. They like to put on some good dresses, no problem. So it is this small thing. If you like to enjoy, you like to visit this place, like to go over there. You know the Ramakrishna mission? The Swamis and the Brahmacharya. Of course, in the time of Brahmacharya, there's some restrictions are there, so that you can build up the mind. So 10, 12, 13, 14 years, there will be very, very restricted life. Then afterwards, you're free. Then sometimes you can go to your friends, you can go to different places, you can eat if you like something. No restriction in that way. These are the things one must do. No, not like that. So these are the, why? A little bit of desires if you have, it's okay, no problem. Main 2 things, that is kama and the gold. Lust and gold. You cannot, that is not allowed. So if you observe, not that I belong to the Ramakrishna mission and I am going on praising, because these were formulated by Ma Sharadamani Devi, the goddess herself, and Swami Vivekananda, who was none other than Sri Ramakrishna, and all the host of the spiritual giants. So they have given this freedom, means this is hurdles for the spiritual growth. No, it is not the hurdle. Sri Ramakrishna is telling this way. It is not good to cherish desire and hankerings. Just slowly you have to give up. And then, for that reason, I used to fulfill whatever desire came to my mind. The great soul, he is giving his own. Once I saw some colored sweets at Bag Bazaar and wanted to eat them. Colored sweets. So he saw from the that the showcases are there, so naturally they brought me the sweets and I ate a great many. Then the result was I fell ill. So he said that if you have that type of desire and if you eat too much, then you are going to suffer. In my boyhood days, while bathing in the Ganges, I saw a boy with a gold ornament, jewelry, around his waist. During my state of divine intoxication, I felt a desire to have a similar jewelry myself. Sri Ramakrishna his father was not that rich. He was a little well-off person, but not that rich to give the golden jewelries for his son. He saw that, and when he was in that spiritual mood, he felt that desire. I was given one because the very rich man, they were supporting Sri Ramakrishna. Whatever the wishes were there, all were fulfilled. But I felt a desire to have a similar, and I was given one, but I couldn't keep it on me for very long. When I put it on, I felt within my body the painful upsurge of a current of air. It was because I had touched the gold to my skin. Look at it. Sri Ramakrishna is telling, little desire is better to fulfill. And he said, when he was a young boy, he had the desire, saw that, and then afterwards he wanted to fulfill that when he grew up and he was practicing spirituality in that intense mood. And it was given to him. But the moment he touched it, with the skin, on the skin, the gold and the desire, they go together. Gold means the wealth and the desire. If you have the desire, then you will go for the gold of the wealth. And then again, you spend that, again desire, again earning. And for the earning, you have to do many other things. So slowly you are going into that bondage of desire. So he said, no, it was so painful. I wore the jewelry a few moments and then had to put it aside. Otherwise, I should have had it to tear it off. Friends, we are following a great soul. And he said the small desires should be fulfilled. And then he, from his own experience, he is telling, when I was feeling to eat something, I ate, but I became sick because of that. So even the small desire, if we are going to fulfill in that way, there is a possibility to suffer physically. Then there was a desire to put on a golden chain. He got it. And the moment he put it on his person, his body, when the moment the gold touched his skin, he started feeling pain. We have to remember this. Or Sri Ramakrishna was putting on the golden jewelries, so we can also do that. The next line, I could not put it for a long time. The moment it touched, I started feeling pain. I had to tear it off. I gave it up. So the little desire also, the moment it comes, you can understand the futility of it. You have to give up. I once felt a desire to eat the famous sweetmeats of different cities. All started laughing, listen to this. I had a desire to hear Shambhu's musical recital of the Chandi. Desire. The Shambhu Babu was the very famous, he used to recite the Chandi in a very melodious way. The Sri Ramakrishna, that is also desire. Sometimes we go to see this, we go to see that. So it's better to fulfill all the desires, The once I saw the advertisement, and every time I used to pass through that, I saw that a human being can float in the air. So I requested some of the volunteers, can we go and have that? How to do it? So they said, you can also do. I thought, let me see. Inside I went and I found, my God, they're sending the air so forcefully that a man can float on that. I don't know, this is sufficient. And those who were coming down, I don't know whether they enjoyed it or not, but they were thoroughly confused. The way they are coming out of that. So it is, that is okay. Now when I pass through that, there are two buildings I have seen advertising that you can fly in the sky. That means the forceful air will help you to float. No, it is over. No desire at all. And so this way, opera, European opera, it's a very famous thing. The two devotees, they purchased a costly ticket. And when I went and I heard they are singing, they must be a very good singer, no doubt about it, because the opera house was full, every single seat was full. But after they stopped for a small gap, then I was pushing the devotee, can you go back? He said, Swamiji, so it was a costly ticket. But anyway, we came out, over. So I knew that how they sing and the small thing, little curiosity, little thing to enjoy, but no more. It is enough is enough. So little thing that we find in our life, once you go, nothing, no harm, but not that you should be glued to that, attached to that. Every time you should go over there. Never ever. So this is the teaching. At that time, many holy men used to visit the temple garden. A desire arose in my mind. See how the a desire arose in my mind. There should be a separate storeroom to supply them with their provisions. Sri Ramakrishna, he used to get a salary from the temple. And naturally, he had no authority to say that this should be done or that. But he had a desire. So many holy people are coming. They are in the same line with the others. You know, the beggars and the homeless, they all are there. And the holy people are also in the same line. So if they had a separate storeroom, they could go take the food and go to their rooms or come eat their own things. So he had a desire. So he is telling that Mathur Babu arranged for one. The Mathur Babu, the Jamindar, immediately did that. The sadhus were given foodstuff, fuel and the like from that storeroom. Sri Ramakrishna was very happy. These are the desires. He is not hiding. And he is telling, this I was having. Once the idea came to my mind to put on a very expensive robe, embroidered with the gold and smoke a silver hubble bubble. The silver hubble bubble, that time the kings and the landlords, they used to smoke from that. So he did that. Mathur Babu sent me the new robe and the hubble bubble. I put on the robe. I also smoked from the hubble bubble in various fashions. Sometimes I smoked it reclining this way and sometimes that way, sometimes with the head up and sometimes with head down. So lying on his chest, lying on his back, and like that he was going on smoking and trying to find out what is there. The rich people, they behave like this, what is there? Then I said to myself, oh mine, this is what they call smoking a silver hubble bubble. Immediately I renounced it. I kept the robe on my body a few minutes longer than I took it off. I began to trample it underfoot and spit on it. It was a costly robe. I should not have that. So the desirelessness came in that way. The people, they appreciate the costly dresses, and Sri Ramakrishna told, I put it on for a moment. And then I felt, no, my mind should not be enough. Not only that, to make the mind completely separated from that, he was trampling on that and spitting on that. Great hatred. No, I don't need this. Immediately I renounced it. I began to tremble. So this is an expensive robe, but it only increases man's rajas. Rahal, and then he goes to another incident. When Narendra first came here, he was dressed in dirty clothes, but his eyes and face betokened some inner stuff. At that time, he did not know many songs. He sang one or two. Let us go back once more, O my mind, to our own abode. Manachala Nija Niketane. That was the song. And O Lord, must all my days pass by to utter in vain? Jabe kihe dino amar bifale chaliye. That was the song. So Sri Ramakrishna, again, is going to give the description of the best disciple, devotee, and how he was. Not that with good clothing he is coming, but he looked at his eyes. He saw his face. He saw that everything is inside, nothing. Swami Vivekananda's eyes were too very big. Beautiful. But he was not looking outside this world. He was constantly looking inside. Sri Ramakrishna noticed it, and he is appreciating that. I became mad for the sight of him and wept for him in Jodu Mollik's garden house. Why? Because the holy soul, it has come to me. And another holy soul wants to talk to the Sri Ramakrishna, realized that this young man is not an ordinary person. He has a purity. See, sometimes even a very, very ordinary person like us, you will see that if someone is coming to you, you feel like talking to him. Not that all the time you are talking with the religious matter or about the God or any scripture. No, an ordinary discussion, but you feel talking with that person. And sometimes some people will come. The moment they come, their very presence will irritate you. And no, not, I don't like to talk to them. Not to this person, not to that person. Why it happens? Because the mental wave. Now think about the mental wave of Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, the purest of the pure. Now that Sri Ramakrishna, when he saw a young man coming from then Calcutta, and the Calcutta people, particularly Narendra's father, was a very rich man and very respected person in the whole society. So obviously when he came, he could come on a phaeton car or with proper good dresses. And in those days the Bengalis were very much concerned about those things. But now this young man, though he was a student of the Calcutta University, very intelligent, very good looking, very attractive personality, but he was not caring about his dress. He was not caring about his hairs, because he was not liking these external world. Whether the people will appreciate me or not, no bother. Never, no botheration about that. And that means he was having something else. The moment you give up the external world, where the mind will go? To the spiritual world. So his mind went into the spiritual world. And Sri Ramakrishna, the master of the spiritual world, immediately recognized it and he liked it so much. So he liked, and liked so much so, he is telling, I became mad for the sight of him and wept for him. Friends, this has a indication of love. Love goes in two ways. The devotee's love for God, God's love for the devotee. And the God's love for the devotee is known as grace. And devotee's love for the God known as bhakti, devotion. This young boy, that very moment, he was not having the devotion for this particular personality who is known as Sri Ramakrishna. But the grace, the God's love for the devotee, that was already there. So he said, I became mad. It means so much of love for the devotee. Why? He's such a nice soul. There is not that only Narendra. His love is flowing to us too. Only thing, we have to prepare yourself like Narendra. And what was the specialty in Narendra? He was successful in everything. He was successful in study, in game, in music, and also in meditation. So he was successful in the worldly things. At the same time, he was completely withdrawn with an insight and giving away the worldly things, attachments. Now these are the hints. If we can develop those qualities, like the quality of meditation, withdrawing our minds, and then our concentration on the work, the karma yoga that we do, whatever little work that we are doing, whatever it may be, we must do it very, very perfectly. And if we can do that, what will happen? Same love of God will come to us, rushing towards us. And that is called the grace of God. So this we will, up to this today we will read, and again we will study Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna. Today we learn that As Ramakrishna is telling, if you have little small desire, it's better to fulfill. But not that the repetition should go on and on and on. Oh, I like to eat the dosa, and every day dosa. No. Then that won't go. So that won't do. So we have to understand this. No, some people, their stable food is dosa. No, not for them. Some people they're having, we will go to that restaurant, eat like this, and regularly visiting. Not like that. We have to have developed the detachment. It is possible or no? We can go, but no attachment to that. This is the teaching we learn from Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna. And that is the only way. That is the path. What is the path? Called Pantha. Path is to follow the great soul. And what is the greatest soul of this present day world? Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna did. He never shunned. Whatever the desire came, he wanted to fulfill that. But the moment that fulfillment, in the form of fulfillment it came, he immediately recognized and realized the futility of that and threw it away. And never again. Never again. So that is the teaching. And secondly, just we concluded with that, the God's love for the devotee is constantly flowing in a mad way. I became mad for that boy. Why? He was so pure. So we have to develop the purity. And what is the purity? For giving up these worldly desires. That is the purity. Giving up the all worldly desires, but not giving up the duties. Duties and responsibilities that we have accepted, we must follow it. Follow it 100% without attachment. So we will read and understand those things. And these, slowly in this way, we understand, we practice, and practice makes a man perfect. Every day we have to practice. And that is exactly the teaching we have received from Sri Krishna. Abhyasena tu kaunteya. Abhyasa, abhyasa, abhyasa. Practice, practice, practice. Today we can meditate for 5 minutes, and after 5 years, it will be 5 hours. So that is the way we have to practice slowly, and for sure, when you go and look at ourselves, we are not ordinary people. We are blessed ones. Because Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna and the Bhagavad Gita, the scripture, it says we must have done something good in our past life, so this opportunity, and we have understood it. We are not going to lose it. Let the whole world go in its own way. We, the handful of people, must try to realize God. And once we can do that, Dhanya, the whole family will be blessed. Whole society will be blessed. Not only myself, not only the individual, whole human society. Thank you, friends. Let us offer our pranam to Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna. Niranjanam Nityam Anantarupam Bhaktanukampa Dhrita Vigraham Vai Ishavataram Parameshamidyam Tam Ramakrishnam Shirasa Namamaha. Om Shanti, 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 Hari Om. Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.